age does matter. Jack Harlow being that young and that not having a serious thing to do with him not understanding who Brandy was and I guess still is. And also, the other part about this, he said he didn't know that Brandy and Ray J were siblings. Okay, that tells you where someone's, frame of reference is. The fact that he didn't know who she was and he didn't know that they were even siblings. He knows who Ray J is because Ray J has been more of a cultural figure, if you ask me. He's tied to Kim Kardashian. People know who Ray J is, maybe not musically, but like people know who Ray J is. From an age standpoint, I give him a pass. I really do. But here's where it gets tricky because I can remember when the Everyday Struggle show was popping, right? Joe Budden Academics were doing their show. They had Lil Yachty up there. Joe Budden was going crazy at Lil Yachty for not knowing his contracts. And then speaking of Hot 97, it seems like Hot 97 is like, they're always at the front. They're always at the center of all this stuff. He was up there as well talking to Ebro and them. And they asked him, did he know any Biggie lyrics? Did he know any Tupac lyrics? And of course, because Lil Yachty is a young dude, was like, I can't tell you any song from Biggie. No. And I remember that being a headline. For some reason, people are shocked. The older people are shocked when the young folks don't know the people in the 90s, right? I think it's completely realistic that they don't. But I will say this, though. If you are a legend in the making, if you are an artist that actually shows that type of care for the culture and you are actually striving to be an all-time great, it is unacceptable for you to not know your hip-hop history. I'm just saying. I mean, let's be real. I guarantee you you ever heard Chance the Rapper talk? Not to say that he has maximized on his potential, but like from a talent standpoint, he was once the guy. He knows his history. Corday, right? Another guy who's kind of primed for, something special, if you will. You listen to him talk, he knows his history. You listen to Kendrick Lamar when he was a youngin' talk. They know their history about who came before them. J. Cole, the list goes on. Drake. It's okay to know your history, but I think the people who show that they know their history are the ones who are going to be here for a long time. That's how I feel. I don't think that if you are somebody who intends to be a legend or be here for have longevity in the game, it's not acceptable for you to not know your history. It kind of looks weird, and you just look like you don't really care for the sport, or for the genre it is that you're in. And it has nothing to do with Jack Harlow being white, because like I just said, I just gave you an example about Lil Yachty. Because there's a lot of dudes who don't know their history. I just feel like if you are striving for success and greatness and longevity, you should know your history.
Preach. That's how I feel. Really well said. I mean, it's think about us, think about IT people. I mean, you may be working with modern tools and applications, but if you're somebody to know C++, or if you're somebody that knows about Windows 95, it only helps. I mean, I still use some DOS commands. I know I'm going deep in the weeds, but
I do too.
Sometimes I got to do some scripting, right? I still use some DOS commands. I still know about HTML from school.
Bro, I still know about JavaScript, .NET technology,
.NET and stuff like
C-sharp,
that.
All the stuff I used to do back in the day. Yeah,
and I'm sure, presidents and historians and politicians, they still have to know about their history also. But is Brandy someone you should know about?
Oh, that's
what's the cutoff? Question. At this point, what's the cutoff? I personally think Brandy's a legend. Brandy is one of the few people that I think would not be what it is if it wasn't for Brandy. Brandy had a sound.
She's part of that. She was part of.
She's part of that sound. I know a lot of people are going to call me crazy. Brandy, Aaliyah, they each had sounds that you see in R&B today. Like Kehlani, if you love Kehlani's music, that's Brandy. A good chunk of Brandy. I love music, so I can kind of hear that. I see it. But I mean, let's be real. The older generation who are huge hypocrites, let's put ourselves, I don't know where we are. We're probably
we're
in the middle.
We're in the middle.
I still listen to Lil Uzi Vert, but I still love me some Jay-Z and Nas. Let's be real. If I ask Jay-Z, Jay-Z probably knows. But a lot of the older generation, tell me a Cool G rap song. Tell me a Rakim song.
I bet you they would know.
Tell me. I think they do. I know, like I said, Jay-Z, once again, the greats. The greats know.
And you see, that's why. But see, that was my point, right? It, to me, not knowing, and this is across the board. This has nothing to do with music. You brought up the technology example. That holds true. I don't care. You go any place in this planet, talk about any discipline, whether it's from farming to being a weatherman to wanting for politics to I don't care, being a father, doing anything. You name the occupation. I guarantee you part of being great is knowing the history of that discipline, knowing what people have done before you so that you can learn from that and build on that and become a better you and kind of change the landscape, right? So to me, like I said, not knowing your history is more of an indictment on that person. It kind of lets me know that, like, damn, how far do you feel like taking this? How far you want to go with this? You don't even know your history? Okay. That's not a good sign, you know?
So let's end it like this. Should Jack Harlow have known who Brandy was? What do you think? Should he have known who she was?
Should he? No. I don't think there's any conceivable reason that I can say he should have known who Brandy was. Brandy is significantly more older than he was. When Brandy was popping, she was on TV. This is before his time. Brandy hasn't been relevant in music and in pop culture for probably 15 plus years. Why would Jack Harlow know who she is? That's the real question. Why would he know who she is?
Because Ray J, you got to know. Oh, at least do your research on Ray J. My God, Ray J is a legend.
I think he know who Ray J is, though.
Of course, everybody knows Ray J.
Everybody know who Ray J
which is insane. Growing up, it was the complete opposite. It was like, oh, hold on, that's Brandy's little brother.
That's Brandy's
Remember, even
brother.
Lil Kim said it. Wait a
Brandy's
minute,
brother.
ain't that Brandy's brother? It's now flipped.